But let's say hypothetically, okay, SendBlue are telling us the truth with their data, which I think they are. No reason not to believe them, okay? And then let's hypothetically assume it also works as well for us as it does for their other many clients, which is about 30% increased response rate with iPhone users. Okay, let's imagine that happens, Derek. If that does, you like that's about a 15% aggregate response rate increase, which is effectively 15% on your front end most important metrics. That's going to be 15% more appointments, 15% more sales, like 15% more. If SendBlue does what we think it's going to for us, I think there's going to be people absolutely printing money with their insurance business. Guys, Chip from SendBlue, absolute killer stud. You guys are going to be excited to hear from him. He is quite a fun person to deal with. So, but he is representing what if you didn't hear that spoiler, what I do think is going to be an absolutely massive increase for everyone's business here from an appointment setting standpoint, and maybe from a show rate standpoint and a sales standpoint as well. We'll see where all of our numbers go up just by sending Blue. Okay, we have Chip from SendBlue joining us today. Super excited to have you on, Chip. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to Lead Champ. So two main things I would love for you to share with everyone today. And then let me give you the whole agenda, guys, for the call, and then I'll let Chip take over. So four main things we're going to go through. First two with Chip here is number one, what is SendBlue going to actually do for us? What are they seeing with their other clients? What is that increased response rate going to look like? Why are we even sending Blue messages in the first place? And then the second thing is Chip is going to actually show off, or Josh will show off some of the new cool features that you can actually use with the SendBlue platform that is now live with Lead Champ as of right now. And then we're also going to talk about best practices, some of the things that you need to be doing when you're using your new SendBlue line to maximize our response rate, to maximize the people that we're getting in touch with, and to also minimize damage to our lines. We want to protect these iMessage lines and make sure that they don't get flagged or burned with either Apple or any of the carriers. So we've got a system set up for you on that. Josh is going to walk you through best practices. And then final segment of the call, we will do Q&A. I know people have a lot of questions. So if you have questions, please go ahead and write those down for us as you're going through, or even go ahead and put them in the chat. If you want to go ahead and put a question in the chat as we're going, we may just not come to it until the very end we get to Q&A, but we will come back and answer all of those questions. So Chip, thank you so much again for joining us today. Really appreciate you being here. If you wouldn't mind, tell everyone why we should be so excited to send Blue messages instead of green messages, what that's going to do for us. And then maybe if you wouldn't mind, show us a couple features so we can see exactly how it's going to work.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, everyone. My name is Chip. I'm with the SendBlue team. What does SendBlue do? It gets responses. We need leads to respond in order to engage with them. And what we've seen is that customers have a preference for iMessage. Why is that? Probably because it just feels more personal. Sounds like a lot of people here are familiar with the pains of A2P. We don't have to do A2P for the same reason that you don't have to ask permission to text your friends off of your personal iPhone. We don't have to ask permission to text your leads off of our iPhones. And so everything that we do is geared towards getting a response. Once the customer responds, you're off to the races. You're off to the races. And, you know, what's going to keep a customer from responding? A green text, definitely a green text that says text stop to opt out at the end of it. That's like a dead giveaway that you're not a human. Sending videos and pictures that come across super granular, super low quality, that's going to keep people from responding to you. If we flip this, what's going to make people want to respond to you? What's something that you could send someone that is so personalized that the prospect feels like they owe you a response? Videos, voice memos. Yep, Hunter's got it. Voice memos. Calling from the same number that you're texting from. When you call people, it shows up as maybe your name. When people see that name on the screen, maybe it's not even a name that they know, but they see a name on the screen, they assume they know you. They're going to pick up the phone. You're going to have a conversation. So what is SendBlue going to do for you? It's going to plug in to your Lead Champ Pro funnel. You're going to use Lead Champ Pro in the exact same way that you already are, but your texts are going to SendBlue, which means more customers are going to respond to you. There's some automation built into this, so it's personalization at scale. You can have personalized, highly engaging conversations with your prospects at scale without having to film every single video, without having to record every single voice memo. A lot of what we do is based around automations. What's cool about those automations is our goal is still to get you in touch with a human. We want to get the lead in front of a human. Automations are the shortest path to getting a lead in front of a human. And so by the time you step into that conversation, your prospect has already had a back and forth with the automation. You can read that conversation, gather some context on the prospect, see if they're qualified, pick up the phone, and you're off to the races. I've been a sales rep for 5 years. I've been sending blue text messages for about a year. Notice that they definitely get a higher response rate. And this tool has been an absolute frame shift in my sales process and in the sales process of basically every client that we work with. So that's a little bit into, I guess, the science of what's happening here. But I'm guessing you want to see what this actually looks like on a statistical level. Nick, should we show the
Yeah,
dashboard?
hopefully you have the ability to share your screen now if you have it pulled up. But yeah, I would love to see, some of the data. I remember, and I don't know if you have this ready, so I apologize for putting you on the spot, but I remember seeing when I was first taking a look at y'all's company, a graph that showed the difference between response rate of SMS versus iMessage. And I swear I looked at that thing for like 20 minutes and I was like, can it really be that much of an increase? So yeah, do you have that available to show us right now?
Yep. I think this is what you're talking about right here.
Yes, sir. Look at that. I mean,
I don't know. Does someone want to come off mute and kind of tell us the story that we're seeing here? Is that a crazy thing to do, Nick?
No, sure.
Looks like a lot more people who are texting blue are responding.
That's exactly what we're seeing. Yeah. People on a statistical level, your prospects prefer blue messages. This is for our own internal sales campaign. And what we're doing here, just like an iPhone, when you text an Android off of an iPhone, it's going to send a green message. We do the same thing. So we're going to send iMessage to everyone that we can possibly send iMessage to, everyone on an iPhone. Inevitably, Android users are going to find their way into your funnel. We still want to reach those people. We're going to send them an SMS. And so what you're seeing, the blue is an SMS or an iMessage response rate. Blue is an iMessage response rate. The green is an SMS response rate, tracked over the same time period. Again, the way that we're able to track this is we fall back to SMS for people that are not using iPhones. Tells a pretty clear story. We had April 28th, April 29th, 100% response rate. If you heard back from 100% of the leads that you were paying to acquire, what would that do for your business?
In this business, that would print money. Seriously, like 100% response rate would be unbelievable. And here's what's crazy: that when I look at this, tell me if I'm reading this right. Every LeadChamp user should be seeing that green line at the bottom as what they're getting right now, right? Because they've been only texting with SMS, and so they haven't got a chance to experience any of this blue yet. Is that the way I should be looking at that? Like our response rate we should see a similar increase with our clients as y'all did with iMessage.
Yeah. I think it's safe to account for a 2 to 3x lift in response rates. The caveat there is you can't go higher than 100%. So if you have a 50% response rate, sorry, we probably can't 3x that. But we can get you all the way up to the ceiling here.
I can't speak for everyone's different lead sources, but with LeadChamp generated leads, we see an average of like 45 or 50% response rate right now. So it's already pretty good. But if we see I'm imagining it's like if you're seeing 30% better with iMessages, then maybe we get like a 15% increase overall to account for some people are still obviously going to have Androids. But if we saw a 15% increase, right, from 45 to 60 or from 45 to even 55, I do think that will make a massive difference for people. So I'm excited to see this in practice.
Yeah. And Nick, big part of the business here is getting people on the phones, right?
At 100%. I mean, if they book the appointment, but they don't show up, it doesn't mean anything for us.
Right. Calling's a big part of what you do. We want people to pick up the phone. Our pickup rate is anywhere from 18 to 20%. The reason it's so high is because our name shows up when we call. The reason our name shows up when we call is because we text our name in the conversation. Just an
Wow.
iMessage.
And that's not for appointments. That's when you guys are just calling out to people that are in your funnel, or is that
Yep.
for? Wow.
Yep.
And actually, this is a good question from the chat. What is Oh, okay, they're saying for this is from 4,000 conversations. Yeah, I was curious how many messages you guys have sent in this data.
Yep. 4,000 conversations. That's not messages. That's conversations. We count a conversation as with a contact.
Gotcha. So this is over,
So that's-
over 4,000 leads, basically, if we're looking at.
Yeah, over 4,000 leads, exactly.
Incredible. Okay, awesome. So I love the data. I'm excited about this. I definitely and for everyone on here, this was my first experience with SendBlue. Okay, I got put in their funnel when I went to go and actually book an appointment with Chip, and I got an iMessage right away, and it said, "Hey, this is SendBlue." It was a couple messages in a row. I think it said it was from Alex, actually, Chip, if I remember right.
But I can show the conversation.
Yeah, show the conversation we had.
Cool. I'll show. We got people coming in through this funnel all the time. So here's what it looks like. Someone opts in. The first thing we're going to text them is our name. The reason we text them our name is because then when we call, it's going to show up as maybe our name. That's what leads to the high pickup rate. The second thing we're going to send, we're going to ask for permission to send something of value. We know that customers want to see a demo because if they didn't want to see a demo, they wouldn't have opted in off of our marketing. So 2 messages right off the bat, that makes us feel human, short, choppy messages instead of big emails copied and pasted into a green bubble. We want to sound human. We want to tee this up so that it invites a response. So we're going to introduce ourselves, ask for permission to send something of value, get a response from the client, and then send the thing of value. In our case, it's a video. Video comes across crystal clear, and it's a voice memo. And then it's just one more question because we're looking for context here. All of this is automated. By the time the sales rep steps into the conversation, usually we've got some good information here. We've got a hook. So at least we can call and open up with that hook and be off to the races, be 10 steps ahead of where we would be if we were just copying and pasting messages all day and sending green bubbles.
So I remember telling Josh, man, if this is them messaging us from a Go High Level platform, like I'm really impressed because it does feel like someone messaging me from an iPhone, sending me a voice message, sending me a video. And I actually just experienced this with our system yesterday, guys. I just tested someone's SendBlue number, put myself in as a new lead. It messaged me right away. I messaged back. AI responded, booked an appointment with me on my calendar within a few minutes. It felt just like a conversation. It wasn't instant like I was talking to a robot, but it was within 10 seconds a message. It was fantastic. So the experience that our customers are going to have is going to be so much better if they have an iPhone. That has to be part of it as well, the response rate. I mean, look at that graph, man. I'm so excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So you've already got the extension pulled up here as well, right? Do you want to go ahead and transition and maybe show them like how could you send a voice memo to one of their leads if someone was responding and they wanted to jump in and put that personal touch in, maybe demonstrate how to do that. Is that possible?
Yeah, within the SendBlue inbox here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I'll find you, Nick, so that I'm not just sending this to a random person here. And actually, give me a second. I'm going to pull you up in the CRM as well. Cool. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. So Nick, this is you right here. So Nick comes in through our funnel. Absolutely. Thank you. We send him the video, send him the voice memo. I've got some back and forth with Nick. My setter Brady is in here talking to Nick. We've got more automations that fire based on my calendar. We want to make sure that Nick shows up for this meeting. So we're going to automatically send him an appointment confirmation, an appointment reminder, probably an hour before the meeting. Boom, we get a response. That's fantastic. Setter's in here again. He's a human. And then we send the Zoom link about 8 minutes before the scheduled meeting. If I wanted to send Nick a voice memo, all I do is click down here. Hey, Nick, Chip with SendBlue. Still good for the meeting, right? There's my voice memo.
Look at that. That is incredible. And guys, that is synced up. This is synced up with your lead champ as well. So if you have a conversation inside of the SendBlue platform, it will be represented and seen inside of LeadChamp and vice versa. So you can use this interchangeably with LeadChamp, to message back and see what's going on with each of your leads.
Do we want to talk about the unresponded tab too? This is pretty cool.
Sure. I don't think it's as relevant for our use case
Okay.
as some of our other clients, but yeah, you can absolutely show it off.
We'll go through a quick unresponded tab. This is where the money lives for me. All of the conversations I haven't responded to, they stay here until we respond to them. It's that simple.
By the way, guys, the reason that's not as relevant for us is because if anyone messages back into LeadChamp, and this only applies for people who have AI set up on their account. If you don't have AI set up on your account and you want it, please request it right away. We will soon be charging for this service for anyone who doesn't already have it. So it's going to be about $100 a month charge. So if you want it, and you don't already have it, go ahead and get it right now while the getting's good, while it's free. And but our AI will actually message people back for you. So whenever someone responds to one of our messages, which by the way, SendBlue has been coaching us through improving our scripts to make them more conversational. Although a lot of their guys did say that Josh and Jamie did a really good job with some of ours, that they couldn't even improve some of them, which is great as well. But they always end with a question, right? And so we're asking people, hey, do mornings or afternoons work better? So when someone messages back afternoons, not only do we have that iMessage opt-in, now we've got that response right away, but now AI is going to take over and offer them times and book them on your calendar for you. So, this is a perfect integration with what we're doing. It's going to help you get way more appointments booked on your calendar. It's going to help you get more out of all the leads that you're bringing in. And if we see a response rate increase like this, it's going to be an absolute game changer for us, on the income side. So speaking of that, Chip, I want to talk about one other thing as well here before we get Josh on for best practices, because, no, and guys, I'm not upset with you. I understand, that this happened, but I had a couple people that when they heard that we were going to have to charge them $250 a month for SendBlue, they thought that that was expensive. And I get it. I don't pay that much to text off my phone, right? This is just a text off a platform. It's a totally different situation. But, we had people that were using, Twilio through Go High Level, and we're paying per message that we're spending $500, $600, $700 a month in texting fees. And when y'all told us it was unlimited, we were very excited to hear that. But would you mind letting everyone know on here what your normal pricing is for someone that wants to just come and sign up for SendBlue, that's not working with LeadChamp?
$1,000 a month.
So
$1,000 a month. Yep.
And so for everyone on here, please, 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 forgive us that we had to bring on this extra expense. No one wants to pay more, for what they're already doing. But we believe that this is going to be so worth it. There's a reason why people pay. Like, I know Alex Hormozy is one of y'all's clients. I think he has over 200 lines with y'all. If you guys don't know Alex Hormozy, one of the greatest marketers of all time, check him out on YouTube. His content is phenomenal. But there's a reason he's using this platform. He's paying $1,000 a month per line. You got to imagine it's worth it for him. It's got to be worth it for us. But they have given us an extraordinarily good deal. We're so grateful for SendBlue to help us, make this affordable for everyone that's using this. So it's only $250 a month for our users. And by the way, they've even gone above and beyond for us. And they're supplying everyone not with just one phone number, but 2 phone numbers, an exclusive SendBlue line and we're calling it SendGreen line that's going to allow us to do more messages with SMS while still maintaining the quality with those people that we can iMessage both. So they've gone really above and beyond for us. They've worked behind the scenes, to help us integrate it into our platform very quickly. We're extremely appreciative of SendBlue. And for those of you guys that don't already have SendBlue through us, it is now available for people who want to go ahead and upgrade and add SendBlue to your account. You can do that right away. You're going to need to message into support and let them know you want to upgrade, and we'll give you instructions on how to proceed for that. But if you do want to, we can go ahead and get you to upgrade now. So Chip, thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys working with us. And not to put you on the spot again, but did I hear that you're going to be joining us at the Ignite event here in June in a couple weeks?
Yeah. Need to book a flight, but I'm sure I'll see some familiar faces there. I'm pumped up. Excited for that.
So guys, for anyone who's going to be at the Ignite event in June in Arizona, LCP will be representing. We'll have a booth there. And it sounds like Chip and maybe some of the other SendBlue guys are going to be joining us as well to help talk to everyone there about Lead Champ and SendBlue and what we can do for them. So Chip, really appreciate you coming on. Josh, are you with us here as well still?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, let me add you up here with us. And I'll jump out of the way here. But next thing I want to transition to is talking about best practices with Lead Champ and exactly how to use the platform correctly, how to upload your leads correctly, how to make sure people are getting texted from the right number, some things to worry about, watch out for. So I'm going to kind of let Josh spearhead this. Thank you so much, Josh, for taking the time. Guys, a lot of you deal with Josh on a daily basis. You don't really know this about him, but Josh is actually one of the most winning winners out there that I have ever met. This guy works harder, okay, than anyone I've ever run into. He's more giving, more caring, more generous than any of the, the people that I see out there getting all the recognition. And he doesn't get recognized that often. Frequently, okay, Josh is the one stepping in and responding back to your support requests. He actually almost solves more than probably 80% of them. He's the one that designed the system from scratch. He also has a family he takes care of as well, by the way, guys, that he wants to see sometimes. And he's still selling insurance and building a huge agency. So if you get help from Josh directly, please be appreciative of him and his time. He really does give his all for this company. He is a huge winner. So Josh, thank you so much. Appreciate everything you do. And I'll pass it over to you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that, Nick. And Chip, thank you. I'm going to kind of cap off the kind of what you guys were talking about with SendBlue, just for everybody else. Like SendBlue was not the only like blue bubble company that we looked at. We looked at some others. We almost went with those other companies. And ultimately what it came down to is once we started working with the guys at SendBlue, we're like, these guys care. We felt that where other companies were trying to, send blue bubbles as a part of their business ideal, SendBlue is trying to be the best at what they do in the space. And quite frankly, what the customizations and the support and the service that they give us to build some of these custom things, namely the SendBlue and SendGreen option, we couldn't have done what we're doing without them. So we're super grateful and very, we know we made the right decision. So just wanted to kind of say that in front of everybody, in front of Chip. So appreciate that. And in addition to that, the $250 price point, I just want to point out a couple things, right? Yes, higher response rate, but more importantly, I always judge things based on like me and Jamie's use case, right? So guys, we're buying leads every week. I'm spending roughly $8,000 on leads per month. And so like Nick said, my texting bill was $500, $600, $700. And I did not call my appointments out of Lead Champ because that's also no expense for calls and call recordings. So any of your texting via SendBlue is flat rate, that $250 rate. In addition, if you make calls out of the extension, it will make the calls and house the recordings, and that's also included. SendBlue's picking up the tab on that. So huge savings. So it's personally saving me several $100s per month to have. So, if you're a career agent, if you're, doing this every day, buying leads every week, you're absolutely going to have the same cost savings for you. So I just want to kind of point that out. So with that said, let's jump into it. I'm going to do a little bit of share screen back and forth. I'm going to do my best on this, Nick, to not just, sit on screen share the entire time. So first of all, here, I'll pull it up real quick, is you want to make sure that you go, if you have SendBlue right now, go to hit your My SendBlue button, and you're going to see your numbers listed, blue and green, and you want to watch all the videos on getting started, okay? So we're going to go fast, but all the videos that are pertinent are there. How to download the extension, how to upload your leads, and the limits and everything we're about to go over are on those videos. So take the time, watch those videos. If that link does not work for you, it's because you don't have SendBlue. So again, message into support, hit support and say, hey, I want to SendBlue. We'll get you set up. It will take, maybe 48 hours or so, because we have to transfer over some stuff on your AI. We got to get you some numbers and we got to do some things, but we'll get you going. And so what I can say just from Now, what we did is, so everybody that's had a send blue number for the last month, you've actually been sending green up until several days ago. So what I can tell you from just a standpoint of what I've seen over the last few days on my account and others is more people are responding. Once we have, 30, 60, 90 days, we'll actually have hard data. But for sure, people are responding. As we were on the call just a minute ago, I just had somebody, book on my calendar, AI, the whole bit. So that was great to see. So excited for that. With that said, we're gonna go over some best practices. So the first thing is you definitely want to download the extension. I think when we first saw this, we undervalued the extension. It was one of those things like, this is a pretty cool thing. And now that I've had it for a few days, I'm like, you have to do this. All right. So watch the video, how to download the extension. But essentially, once you're in, you'll be looking at what Chip was showing there. Let me pull my extension up here. And there's a couple things that you want to do right away. All right. Now, one of them, once you're logged in, now that data that he was showing, now I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go here, but just in the last week, here's my conversations, says up 200% versus last week. Maybe that was just because we got started. I'm not sure, but certainly already have some data flowing in here that looks pretty good. Okay. Now, one of the main things is once you're in here, you're going to blow this bad boy up. You're going to go down to settings. You're going to go to account, and you want to set up this default forwarding. I'm moving fast. This is in the videos. All right. And you want to put in whatever number you want to ring this to. So this number here, this goes to my client phone. So when somebody calls my send blue number, it's going to be in here. Okay. So that's one very important thing. In addition, I'm just going to rattle off some things that we've been told, and I'm just kind of passing it to you. A lot of times, the first thing that people want to do as soon as they get their send blue number is you want to test it. And I'm with you, but a lot of those tests go awry because you'll see your number and you'll just call it, right? That's not going to work. You have to be a contact in the system. Okay. So if you want to test it, as soon as you jump off here, then like always, you want to enter in your contact like you would a lead. And the best way to do that is to go up and hit the add contact button in the top right, add yourself in as a contact. Let's see, as I've done here, let me minimize this. So I put myself in as a contact, right? John Test, there's my number. So if I send a message using the iMessage tab, it's going to come into my phone. I'm going to see that and boom, it came through already. All right. What a lot of people do is they just start texting their number. They're not in as a contact and all that. So it does kind of go awry. You have to kind of treat yourself like a lead. Okay. The next thing is, so we just talked about call forwarding real quick. We talked about sending in a text. We're going to be building more things to kind of help you to do this right away. But all right, I better get that out of the way here. The next thing is there's this thing of send blue versus send green. Now, this is not something that the team has done before. They made this especially for us. So we're kind of their first use case. They're learning and coaching us right along with us. And so there's a few things. Some folks, they're like messaging people and they're like, it's not blue, it is blue. What's happening? What's going on? So let me do my best to clear all that up. And again, this is in the videos. So all of your new contacts, all right, so think of send blue, your blue number as your sword. All your new contacts, these are going to be your fresh, brand new leads, and your brand new appointments are going to send blue, right? So we want to affect the response rate, and by way of doing that, your show rate to your appointments. After that person, we know that maybe they'll still miss the appointment and they go to a no-show or a second appointment, or they turn into an aged lead, right? Then at that point, after that first appointment, it's going to turn to the send green number. The reason that we did that is because, again, when you're sending blue, it's like you're holding a phone in your hand. And your phone, you can't do a couple things. You can't message 100 people at the same time with the phone in your hand, right? Also, if you're spamming somebody, 10, 20, 30 messages and they're not responding, people don't do that either. And the carrier, the software, whatever they're not gonna like that, and that's gonna damage your number over time. And I know there are some people, agents, that what they really want to do is they just want to machine gun people to death until they respond or their number blows up. And if that's you, you shouldn't use SendBlue. But if you want to get more out of the quality leads that you have, that's what SendBlue's for, okay? So when we came to them, we said, hey, we want to be able to still drip on people long-term. And they really grilled Jamie and I on, well, what kind of messages are you sending? And quite frankly, there's a lot of high-level CRMs that they would not do business with, because these are platforms that everybody writes their own messages, everybody's doing their own thing. And because we have this kind of closed panel, everybody done for you product, they said, hey, we feel like you guys are, kind of fitting the guidelines for this. All right. So that's where they came up with the green number to be able to allow age leads. This would be also your main client phone number, because we send out holiday stuff and birthdays and annual reviews and all the things that we send. They're in more of a, kind of a mass send type of situation. So that's where the green number comes in. So think of your green numbers like your age leads and your client number. Your blue number is your brand new leads. Okay. In addition to that, here in a second, there's a video on how to upload leads. I'm going to go through it here in a second. But if you're putting in the system any kind of age lead, it needs to be into a workflow labeled send blue, send green, and it's going to send green. That's also going to include things like ethos abandoned cart leads, though that's an age lead. So no age lead is going to get texted by a blue number, because there's a lot of potential dangers on that, right? So, age leads, that could be something from a week old. It could be something from 2 years old. And a lot of what we do is would create a guardrail. So you don't have to think, okay, should I do this or do that? What number? We've kind of built in the system for you. All right. So let me kind of pull that up real quick and show you what that looks like. So if you're doing an upload of leads, right, you're going to go to the contact page. You'll add to an automation. Okay, let's see. Add to automation. That button looks different. And you're going to choose a workflow. All right. And really simple, search by either new or age. So if I hit new and it's IUL, let's say, well, there it is. SendBlue text strip, right? It has SendBlue in front of it. Now let's say it's something that's aged IUL, says SendBlue, send green. All right. So if I'm a SendBlue user and I put leads into something that's not labeled SendBlue or send green, it's not going to send. It's not going to send at all. So I need to make sure that it's either labeled send blue if it's brand new, or if it's aged, send blue, send green. And as long as you do that, everything will be okay. But if you really want to maximize the response rate, the best kind of leads is exactly what Chip was talking about, that they have their funnel set up. That's going to be a new lead that you have connected to LeadChamp, right? So that's maybe you're on, LeadChamp leads and they're automatically coming in, or you have a third-party vendor that is APIing them in, or Zap, or they're dropped in real time and those messages are going out, and we've rewritten all the messages. They're very short, they're very conversational. And just like Chip said, it's going to say, hey, Nick, this is Josh with the, getting back to you about IULs. And we've chunked those down. So instead of a big, formal message, it's, 2 really short messages with a question. And then, there's still going to be the memes and all the things. But they're much shorter, much less formal. And some people have said, oh, I really like the formal stuff because I'm professional. I hear you, but the game, isn't to be like, I want to look the best. The game is, I want to get them to respond. And if you are on your iPhone, just like quickly typing messages, they wouldn't be this like big, very formal thing. So just keep that in mind, right? We wrote them with intention. We consulted with SendBlue on what they've seen over large data. We've had their team kind of help coach us on some of those. So we didn't do this haphazardly. I think that's important to know. In addition, just one thing that I would do, I'm going to go back to the extension here, and feel free to have a little fun with this. All right, so let me go back to, and I'm still, yeah, here we go. Pull myself up here. Right, so you have the automations that's reminding people of the appointments and things like that. But just like Chip just showed us, you know, feel free, like the morning, say you have some appointments today, right? Feel free to go ahead and drop a voice memo, right? Like that would be a really cool idea. Or Nick, you know, I know that we talk about sending, we want something, we have a power dialer, a power texter. Nick loves, you can send something with lasers, right? So if I click that and say hello, when it shows up on my phone, right? And now don't go crazy with this, right? You have to use best practices. When it shows up on my phone, it's going to light up. If you ever sent it, right? Look at that. Oh, lasers, right? So we're sending text with more power. And there's a bunch of functionality on there that you can do. Again, don't go crazy, don't be weird. But you can use those things to be able to get better responses and seem more human-like. Last thing, and then we'll do some last two things, and we'll do some questions. There are like quote texting limit guidelines. Now it's set up so everyone can send about 10 to 12,000 messages a month, which I've never sent more than 12 myself. There are a couple users sending 1,000 messages to like a bunch of age leads, and that's, you know, people, you know, if that's the game, then like you shouldn't use SendBlue. All right, but everybody here, 10 to 12,000 messages is what it's capable of doing without jeopardizing number health. And so what that looks like is 50 new contacts a day that are getting SendBlue. 50 new contacts a day. Now, I don't know anybody that is getting a real-time lead drip in that's doing more than 50 leads a day. I haven't met them yet. I'm sure they're out there. So if you have leads connected, you don't have to worry about that. If you're uploading age leads, everything, we've actually built out the workflows, about 200 a day. All right. Much past that, what starts to happen is the system will jam up and messages might not send on time. So just keep that in mind. 50 contacts a day. That means you can add 50 new people per day, brand new leads that are getting sent out messages. Now, when somebody responds back, they're kind of taken out of that 50. So it's actually more than that. These are just kind of rough guidelines to make sure that your messages keep sending, nothing jams up, all those things. The second thing is this like toggle of SendBlue versus SendGreen. So let me get this pulled up again. So there's a couple things, and much of this is going to improve, and we'll have better technology, better systems around this stuff. So a little bit, it will be a little bit confusing at first, I think, but we have some things coming to kind of help everybody with this. All right, so a couple things to note. So I just sent that voice memo. Now in your lead champ, it's going to look like a weird link, but it did not, right? It comes through on their side as a voice memo. So just keep that in mind. Additionally, we have a toggle switch where it's iMessage and SMS. So all new messages, all new leads are automatically going to go out as an iMessage. And so I can sit here and message myself, you know, iMessages. After the lead ages, the workflows are going to pick up to where they're getting sent from your SendGreen number. And so when you have clients and things like that, you can just flip over and text them from your green number. Okay. Now, the caveat to that, and this is any lead coming in the system, whether it's aged or new, is automatically going to get messaged the right thing. When they're sending blue, you know it's working. When they respond back, which again, this isn't, this is just a test contact. When they respond back, there'll be a blue hue, like this blue aura around the message. Now, the one caveat to that is if you bring in a contact, not in a workflow, you haven't put it in a text strip or anything like that, and you just start messaging from SMS, which is green, and then you want to flip to blue, that won't work. If you start green, it stays green. If you start blue, you can go back and forth. Repeat that. If you start a contact on a green message, it stays green. You have to stay green. If you start on a blue message, you can toggle back and forth. So again, be a little bit aware of that. Be mindful of that. If you're not sure, ask. And that's something that, you know, we're working on to better notify, because that can get a little bit confusing. So want to pause right there. Nick, anything that I missed, or we can go and answer some questions?
Perfect. So one thing I did want to mention really quick, we are talking about how people need to have live leads stripped into their account. If anyone is currently looking for a new lead vendor, we are taking on some new clients right now. Our wait list has cleared up here with Lead Champ. So if you want to get on Lead Champ leads, book on my calendar. I put that link in the chat, and would love to get you started. Do understand though that it is like for winners. So if you're like someone that likes to make excuses and not call your leads and not work hard, probably not the right vendor for you. But if you're someone that likes to like write 100,000 a month and like work hard and be a winner, then hit us up. Okay. As far as like best practices, Josh, I think you covered it really, really well. I do want to mention one more important thing on the installation of the extension. Okay. So guys, when you're going to install the extension, I know there's a video of how to do this, but this is just 2 quick steps for you. You're going to first go to the Google Chrome extension store, and you're going to search SendBlue Call. That's what it's called. SendBlue, one word, then call. SendBlue Call. You're going to install it. It's 1 click, takes 5 seconds. Then you're going to go into your extension settings and click on SendBlue, and you need to turn on the toggle allow in incognito. Okay, allow in incognito. The reason that is so important is because Lead Champ works best, and if you don't already know this, you need to start doing this from now on. Always use your Lead Champ in an incognito browser on Google Chrome. Incognito, the reason this works so well is because there's a bunch of cache issues with Go High Level. And instead of clearing your cache over and over again in incognito, anytime you hit refresh, it clears the cache and cookies for that page, and then it refreshes. So a refresh in incognito fixes almost every single bug you run into, but you do have to enable this. By the way, if you still use Kixi, and by the way, God bless you, I hope it gets better. Whenever the Lead Champ Powered Ally gets here, you want to switch as soon as you can. But if you use Kixi still, and you want to use Lead Champ in incognito, make sure you enable Kixi in incognito in that as well. So any extension you want to use in incognito, you're going to have to toggle that on, and then it will work perfectly. And that's how I'd recommend that you use it. Launch your Lead Champ in incognito and use that SendBlue extension for your messages if you want to ever jump in and message someone with SendBlue. So that's the only thing I think that you missed, Josh. I just want to add that. But
Okay.
I think we still have Chip on as well. I know Jamie's been answering some questions in the chat, but if anyone has any more, did you want to say anything else for Q&A?
Yeah, well, a couple questions that came in. Now, Jamie, you're here. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you did put a button on the SendBlue info site to download the extension.
I did. Yeah. So there's a download here button on all of that. So good to go there. And then I was just texting Josh about this. So I might as well pipe up about it now. Nick had said something about how SendBlue is best for people with just API leads connected or some sort of an instant lead. I want to just clarify, if you have new leads, BPL, or you go into the ILC and you buy 40 new IUL leads, all of that is perfect. All of those leads can be SendBlue. Now, here's the caveat. If you go and you grab 1,000 aged leads and you upload it into a new campaign, we did build for that. So it's not going to just send out 1,000 messages at once. It is going to drip them out over time. Again, 50 new contacts. So we built it out so you literally can't send it. So you're just going to have 1,000 leads jammed up if you try. So don't try it. Only upload new leads to a new lead campaign and upload aged leads to an aged lead campaign. I saw Caleb asked in there, is SendBlue worth it if I'm, not doing, brand new leads? I think it is still worth it because you have the ability to do the 300 conversation or 200 to 300 conversations a day with the green messages. But if you upload anything aged, it'll automatically start green. It'll never be blue. But if you have any new leads, no matter where they come from.
Not to mention, Jamie, the alternative to not using SendBlue is to try to get A2P approved, which is anybody's guess, pay per message. And also what we've seen over the last few weeks is even those that have been A2P approved in the past, they're actually filtering out messages so they're not delivered. So if you've been messaging with Nick and he has tried to send you his booking calendar link from support,
it's not coming through. I'm so sorry. It's not. It's in the chat here though. This one will work. But yes, if I've been trying to text you on that.
I think Tanya's on. Like he was trying to message Tanya. If you're out there, Tanya, and he sent it like 900 times. You have an Android, and it was like, nope, you can't send your link because A2P.
So a lot of that stuff I'll just add is it's carrier. So like if you ever deal with a lead who's on T-Mobile, I ask people all the time, T-Mobile hates like SMS from an application. So anytime I try to send any link, so I'll get on the phone with somebody and I ask the golden question and they say, yes, I've got some money for an annuity. And then I go and I click the send FIA info if anyone's done this before, and then it just doesn't send. Like any link you go to send, it's a T-Mobile thing. I don't know what it is. Sometimes, Josh and I will get on with leads and we'll be like, hey, I sent you my credentials before the call. And they're like, no, you didn't. And they're like, yes, I did. And then you go, okay, real quick, go open up your phone, open up your text message. Please type in this message like, oh, you went to my spam box. I'm like, I didn't even know that you had a spam box. Like, what's going on? So some phone carriers are putting things to spam, and others, maybe it's all T-Mobile. I'm not sure. I don't want to just discriminate against them, but some of them are just not accepting links. I don't know why, but they are accepting links from a phone to phone, but they're not accepting links from a application to phone. So even if you've been texting with us for the last, it's crazy to say almost 2 years, if anyone's been here since the beginning, you're starting to see that some of your texts aren't going through. That is not a lead champ thing. That is a phone carrier thing. So the phone carriers are going through and they're judging what they claim to be spammy messages. So there's a handful of messages Josh had to rewrite recently where it's like, hey, it's like an internet lead campaign. Hey, act quickly. Or they don't like any language.
Emotional language.
That sounds emotional, spammy. Hey, let's do this ASAP. Like they don't like it free. Like, hey, free consultation. You can't do any of it. So, and the thing is, there's no guidelines on what you can and can't do. So we're guessing. So rather than guessing, you can send whatever you want to a limit using phone to phone.
Okay, so two other questions. Is it only links or regular messages? Dima asked. It's all the above. And it's not across the board. I mean, basically, sometimes it's a one-off. If it's a one-off, we kind of let it go. What we look at is we're talking about A2P right now. Is a message on the platform getting flagged across different contacts or different sub accounts? And then if it is, we try to see why. Sometimes it's links, sometimes it's phrases, and you don't know. No one tells you. You just kind of have to guess. In addition to that, somebody else, Hunter asked, can you use SendBlue to dial? Yes, watch the videos. I don't know if we have all of them in the knowledge base yet. They will be. There's two ways to do it. Either you can call through the extension, or you can set up what's called verified ID. Jamie, do you know if the verified ID video is in the knowledge base yet?
I can check. I can't confirm or deny.
Okay, well, we'll get it up if it's not. There's something called verified ID. How to set that up? We'll get that in the knowledge base, and basically you can call via lead champ, the normal call button, and it'll be using your SendBlue number to do that. So in short, yes, you can. let's see, Caleb, if I do an iMessage to an Android, would it all on Mac? Well, it's just like when you as an iPhone user text somebody that's Android, we think less of them. So I'm sorry, we don't let you into our group chats because you mess them up. And that's just kind of the culture around here. I'm sorry. I'm only kind of joking. But yeah, on their side, it's going to show up green because that's just the nature of Android. But the inferior green race, it is what it is.
I really believed in the Sin Blue mission right away because I was ostracized from my friend groups until I got an iPhone. They actually, like, one of my business partners was like, look, if we're going to work together, actually, you have to get an iPhone or I just won't do it.
Yeah, if anybody knows Kasha on our team, we would not let her into any of our group messaging chats, 75 hard chats, and we bullied her to go get an iPhone, and she got an iPhone just so she could hang out with us. So
I just want to say she still has the Android. She has 2 phones. So, throw some shade at her.
yeah.
Josh, I might be stepping out of turn here, but we're not going to be using the Sin Blue numbers with the power dialer, but we will have something akin to local presence with that.
Yeah, I'll take 60 seconds to speak on that, right? So anybody that's been using Kixie's been great, and there's also been challenges, and here's the quick rundown on that. It's been great because it's local presence. They use a shared pool of numbers and they just rotate them, but it still goes to spam about 10% of the time. The reason is those numbers aren't registered. They're just a big old pile of numbers. The integration's clunky, not because of LeadChamp, because of some of the things that how Kixie operates. And anybody that's using Kixie right now, if you have not done what I'm about to explain, stop what you're doing as after this call and don't pass go and do this right away. We just got emails been sending us. Kixie just said, hey, we're changing everybody's API key. If you don't know what that is, it's just a link that catches data. And so they're just saying, hey, we're changing this for everybody. So none of your LeadChamp integrations will work unless you go into Kixie and go get your API key and send it to LeadChamp and say, hey, will you replace this? Otherwise, leads will not get sent to Kixie. Your dispositions will not work. Your movement will not happen. They just did that. Why did they do that? I have no idea. That's another reason why we love them so much. So the new dialer will not have that kind of thing. It will not use what's called premium triggers to integrate. It will have registered numbers. So you don't want to just dial from one number. You want to have, maybe depending on how many states you're dialing, 6, 7, 8 numbers or so. That's going to decrease load on each number. Keep number health is important. I was talking to an agent. This agent was used to just loading all their leads in and machine gunning to death until somebody responds. And it feels like it's working because if you load enough contacts, people do respond, but your percentage goes down over time until you're just showing up as spam to everybody. So he went and got a new number and he's like, oh my gosh, people responding. It's like, imagine that, right? So we want to keep the numbers healthy. And so we'll have registered numbers with the dialer, so they rotate and all that. So you don't want to use your Send Blue number to power dial, hundreds of leads per day. That would not be a great idea. But certainly, I'm now running all my appointment sales calls from my Send Blue number inside of LeadChamp. That is a very good idea.
And the reason, by the way, just to emphasize for everyone on here, Chip mentioned this at the beginning, but the reason you want to call your appointments from that Send Blue line is because if you've already been texting them, which we're texting all your leads, right? Then when you call them, if you're an iPhone user, you've seen this, it's going to show up on their phone, like not a full caller ID, but it's going to go, hey, this is probably Nick calling you. This is probably Josh calling you because he's been the one texting you from this number. And so to them, it's going to look like a person. They're going to recognize you. And I don't know if we have data on that, Chip, but I'm expecting the pickup rate goes through the roof whenever you have that caller ID in there. And then actually, is it too soon to spoil this? Is it true that at some point soon we'll be able to actually create like a contact ID that's going to show up for people? Or is that, am I making that rumor up? Might be something that maybe
I think you're making it up, Nick. I'll make sure to ask Alex to add it to our wish list.
I think Alex told me that that's real already, but maybe I'm spoiling it. So that's my bad if I am.
Branded calling?
No, it's like the ad, like when you text somebody and it's like maybe Jamie, it's like add contact or you can share a contact card is what
shows their picture and company. You know what I'm talking about, actually, don't you? All right.
Part of it, the
I'll
contact
stop putting you
cards.
on the spot. I'll stop putting you on the spot on the call, but I do think that they're going to have that soon, guys. But so calling your appointments from your SendBlue line, great idea. As far as using the power dialer, you're going to want to get on the Lead Champ power dialer as soon as it's out and use that so that you have registered numbers and you've got local presence. So you're calling from, multiple different lines, etc. And let me add one more thing. I know there might be some more questions in here, but on the number health for texting, SendBlue has really formed a partnership with us, guys. Like, this isn't just like a vendor relationship. Like, they're really working with us to make sure that we can maximize our results and also protect these numbers. And so some of the reasons that we're working within these limits on like 50 new a day or 200, new a day for age leads is because we want to really protect the numbers. But they've also told us that they're going to help replace them if they do get burned. So it's a partnership, right? We're going to do everything we can to maintain the numbers, and they're also going to make sure we have good, healthy numbers that we're using. So definitely, we're appreciative of SendBlue and everything they're doing to maximize this for us.
We built in safeguards, so they theoretically can't be burned. However, if you do burn them, that is because you were doing something that probably is totally against what we told you to do. So I'm just going to throw this out here now. It is recorded. 3-strike rule. We will replace your number 3 times. And maybe even 2, but then after that, you're done with SendBlue. So they're being very gracious to replace the numbers because they are expensive. It's a new device. So I need everyone to understand that.
Chip literally goes to the store and buys a new iPhone.
Yeah, he does. And he logs it in and everything. He sits there and waits for it to load.
I've got to go to Verizon. I take my mom's credit card. It's a whole thing. She doesn't know where these charges are coming from. Please don't burn the line.
So I think that answered Hunter's question, but I actually don't know the answer to Derek's question here, Chip. Is there a way for us, and if there's not, no worries, but is there a way for us to dial out of our SendBlue numbers from our phones or iPads or other devices like that, and or just from the Chrome extension?
So we can forward calls to your phone. So inbound calls are going to forward to your personal phone if that's what you want.
I think he's speaking of like an application, like a lead connector app, like App Store, Apple, Google Play, App Store, that I could dial outbound from using the
dial outbound from your phone. Yeah, lead connector, we could do that on.
That would be verified ID, I believe.
Okay, yes. If you follow the verified ID video, guys, to set that up, then you'll be able to use lead connector to dial with the forwarding number. Josh, do I have that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you do the verified ID with the lead connector, that is the same as if you do the verified ID and hit the green button inside of Lead Champ on desktop. Now, I know a lot of people are, if you're here, you're like, I definitely need to do that. And if you're doing verified ID, I'm going to say this twice. If you're doing verified ID and you go to add it, you're following the video and you get an error screen 2 times, stop what you're doing and hit support. Because if you do too many times, it'll shut it down. Twilio will charge you, us, everybody. It'll be a big hassle. So if you're going through the video and you get 2 errors, stop what you're doing and hit support.
Other thing we can do for calling is you can just get the SendBlue on your phone, then just click to call from that.
Oh, the Chrome extension works on mobile?
Yeah, you go to sendblue.com on mobile. It's mobile friendly. Looks just like it does on the website, and then your click to call is just right up here. So that would be the way that you call off of your phone.
So, and message off your phone as well.
And message off your phone, exactly. Yep. Yep.
Dare I ask, voice memos too?
Voice memos. Yep. The whole thing. Everything you can do on your desktop, you can do on mobile on SendBlue.
Let's freaking go. Okay.
With more power.
Power texting, baby. That's what we've been looking for. We got power dialer. Yep. We got power texting, All
right. Well, I think that wraps it. We're at the top of the hour. Chip, thank you so much. Let all the guys know at SendBlue that we're grateful. I know we'll be talking with a few of them tomorrow, but let them know that Lead Champ is very excited for this. And for everybody else, if you don't have SendBlue, you're an existing Lead Champ user, you do want to convert, just hit support and say, hey, I want to SendBlue, and we'll get you switched out over. Other than that, hey, let's go crush it. Let's have a great day. If you want to stay on Live Dials and do some sales, this is where we're at every single day. Other than that, we'll take the conversation over to Discord, and make sure you're in our Discord. At the top of Lead Champ Pro, it says join Discord. Get in there because we have some super cool things coming over the next couple of weeks, and that's where you're going to want to be. So with that said,
Josh, wait. Don't close it yet. Don't close it yet. One more thing. That's really important. People need to know this. You guys, everyone on here, if you aren't pushing the what happened button after every single appointment, after every call, if they no-show you, you push that no-show button. But God forbid, if you sell a policy, please click that button. Here's the reason why you want to do that, because Josh just built the fanciest, coolest thing I've ever seen. And every time someone pushes that button, it automatically sends your sales into the Discord and like sends them out as like a recognition. And it's going to populate a live leaderboard where you can see where you stand racked up against all of the other reps here at Lead Champ and who's selling insurance, who's actually crushing it. So that's going to be automatically reported. And by the way, guys, we have some really cool data that we give our lead users. We show them like their closing percentage, their show percentage. We can even show them their demographics. We can show how well one lead type is performing versus a different lead type. But we only have that data on you if you push that what happened button. So if you're someone you want to know like the real data behind your business, push that button every single time, and we'll be able to give you reports on where you're actually winning and where you can improve and help you get way more out of your sales. So Josh, sorry about that. I just had to remember the what happened button, push it every single time. And don't forget, next week, 12 o'clock Eastern, every Wednesday from now on, we will have a Lead Champ Pro call right here, same place, leadchamplivedials.com.
yep. And for anybody that I saw a couple things that people are like, I need help with this or help with that. Nick has posted his calendar in the Zoom chat right here. So before you leave, if you need some help, get on his calendar, book with him. He'll help you get set up. I saw somebody need, they want their calendar set up, things like that. Get on his calendar. And after you do that, go hit the what happened button, and everybody have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
See you in Arizona.
See you in Arizona.